Okay, welcome to another episode of Invisible Walls. It's our Sweet 16. Special guest Molly Ringwald will be stopping by later.
Still funny.
It is still funny, but we're going to do a little plug for GTTV. We have some awesome prototype footage on our next show. There is lots of cool, bloody body surfing, umbilical cord slinging. It's pretty sick in both senses of the word. So check it out late night on Friday. We have a pretty cool show today. Other than that, we have Ryan Stevens, our managing editor, who has now equipped his microphone and is ready to rock.
Yeah, second tries are the best tries.
Yeah. Mike Damiani,
Hey everyone.
Recently food poisoned.
Patrick Morales,
Hey guys.
and Suave today, and Daniel Bloodworth. Okay, and today on the show we have various things. We're going to talk about Metal Gear Solid 4. We're going to talk about some other stuff.
Don't
It'll be awesome. Okay, so first up, here at Game Trailers, we like to wrap it up every time. We're going to give you our wrap-up thoughts on Metal Gear Solid 4. Everyone's been playing the hell out of it generally. Ryan hadn't had the chance to finish it, so watch out for spoilers.
Yeah, there will be spoilers.
Yeah, anyone who hasn't finished the game, just scrub through the footage and save yourself some bitchy comments. Anyone want to start off? I'll say that I really dug the game. It's a great experience. I think it's easy to. It's the coolest PS3 game so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mike, I think you've played through the game, 7 times now?
No, not 7 times.
6?
4. Well,
Didn't you beat it 3 times the first
three
weekend?
times over the first weekend I got it.
What's
and
wrong
then
with you?
To get that Beauty and the Beast photo shoot footage.
So it was all for
played through it again.
for GT.
Yeah, played through it a 4th time in the office in one day.
So what are your final thoughts after you've ran through this opus?
Head and head, when I finally finished this game, I say that I haven't had an experience with a video game like this since probably playing the first Metal Gear Solid 10 years ago. I won't say it's a perfect game, but it's pretty damn close. I just thought it's one of the most ultimate fan services I've ever had. If you're a Metal Gear fan, this game is unbelievable to you.
Hideo gives great fan service. For sure.
Yes.
We like it a lot.
It goes above and beyond in that department. I liked just the gameplay mechanics. I liked the tweaks to the controls definitely made it feel a lot better. First person aiming, over the shoulder aiming options definitely made it much more intuitive. I know a lot of people rag on the cutscenes in the Metal Gear franchise, but I thought this time around, except for a few choice cutscenes which were too extraneous, most of them were really well done, and I didn't mind them being as long as they were. Could have done without the load times, but it interrupted every bit of action now and then. But
Yeah, I think to me, I definitely don't have a problem with the cutscene length. I can deal with how much they throw at me, but I don't really feel like there was enough game backing it up in Act 3 and Act 5.
I haven't got to Act 5 yet, but I'm definitely I did not enjoy Act 3 that much.
I wanted Act 3 to almost be like Assassin's Creed, the way they set it up. I thought, I'm going to be in disguise, I'm going to be walking through the city streets. As long as I don't do anything stupid, I just got to tail this guy, and I have to being here's empty streets, and if the guy spot you, then that's...
It's pretty harsh, yeah.
Now that in Part 3, what's pretty cool about it, when you play it multiple times, even on the same difficulty level, the Resistance member will take alternate paths.
He's a
I
real
was
dick. He's a
hoping
real
that
asshole.
happened.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So you think you have it memorized, you go and do it again, he'll take different paths. So it's kind of cool to go through the city.
That's
different
cool.
times.
But then Act 5, though, it's okay, here's one room, run through it. Here's a couple boss fights in a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, comparison with Snake Eater, I felt there's so much more game in Snake Eater. Once you thought you were getting to the end, then there was another thing, and then there was another thing, and there was another thing. And so with this, I didn't feel like the gameplay held up at the finale.
Yeah, it kind of starts to slip away from you, maybe.
Yeah.
At the end, and you're like, oh, my control, I'm losing it.
I thought that once I got on that ship, it was going to be as big as the tanker in
Yeah.
Metal Gear 2.
And the ship is if you charge right through, it's 5 minutes, and it's okay, in-game time.
Yeah, something with the acts in Metal Gear Solid 4 is that they seem to be catered towards getting you in and out as soon as possible, just so that there's a quick location change. And that's something I kind of miss about the old Metal Gear games. Solid 1, I miss going through a huge, sprawling complex, backtracking.
It's
know,
not-
picking
Yeah,
up
I did not
quite as
mind the
connected.
backtracking
Yeah.
in Metal Gear Solid
Yeah,
1 at
because
all.
it was well designed. It was
I
a
actually
really
in Act
good
4 when
level.
they're actually like when Otacon's like, oh, key cards, you don't need those anymore. I was actually like, oh, I
Yeah.
miss the key cards.
Yeah, I do miss that aspect of Metal Gear, even with the Snake Eater, you know, just going through the forest and, you know, factories of Soviet Russia. That was great. And with the Axe in 4, they're a little bit of a brisk trip for most people, but I think the story just makes up for it. I was really enthused the whole time. I was really into the story. And I thought it was a really great way of concluding Solid Snake's journey throughout the series.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend ended up paying attention because I played through 3 right before 4. I actually finished it the night before. So my girlfriend, like, tuned in, like, at the end of 3. And then, like, I couldn't actually play 4 unless she came over because she wanted to see it all. So the story is definitely there, even for people that haven't followed it all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
They can always just watch the retrospectives.
Yeah.
I will say though, in Act 3's defense, when I got kind of frustrated, I did take out a RPG and shot down the plane with the spotlight. So that was fun. That was very satisfying.
I didn't dare to do that because I made that mistake in 3 and got the crap shot out of me, so.
That was fun though.
Someone's going to talk about Act 4?
Most epic recreation ever.
I love Act 4.
Yeah.
I'm still, that's where I just finished fighting the second boss fight, so I'm not super spoilery.
Mm-hmm.
But everything in Act 4 I really, really, really enjoyed. The enemies, the kind of, the familiar, stuff being familiar, the actually taking on the geckos a bit more, the
Yeah.
boss fight, it was all great.
Speaking of boss fights, what did you guys think about the Beauty and the Beast unit for Part 4? I thought that fighting the octopus was pretty unique because they've never really had that stealthy kind of shape-shifting mimic aspect in a boss fight, but everything else seemed kind of a rehash to me.
Well,
I thought they all felt kind of like the same. Well, I haven't fought
I don't
Natus
think-
yet, but
yeah, I
it's
don't
all a
think
lot
anything-
of hiding and sniping.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the flying dude's not really hiding that much, but it's, with his, you know, XYZ axis, he can go wherever he wants, so it's kind of similar.
Well,
Yeah.
compared to 3, I guess, which had, you know, like the boss battles of legend that people be talking about, you know, forever with the Sorrow in the end. I don't know. I think the boss battles are a lot better than MGS2.
Oh,
I thought
yeah,
there was some
definitely.
cool, there's some cool creative stuff, and they have some of the, you know, the lateral thinking stuff that you expect, you know, trying to figure out what to do and, you know, how to use the tools you have. But
Well, any final thoughts for Snake? Did anyone cry?
I came very close, yeah.
I think there's some good emotional scenes in there, along with
Yeah.
some really cheesy scenes that I kind of think they took a little too far.
How could you not tear up even a little bit during the most epic triangle button mash in history at Act
From
5?
pain.
Dude, that was like crazy.
That's this game's torture sequence, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You gotta have one.
Yeah.
Snake
I
goes
think-
through a lot. Poor
I think I felt
bastard.
the most for Otacon. That guy can't.
He
That guy
can't catch
cannot
a break.
catch a break.
Okay, next up on Invisible Walls, we have another visit from the grumpy gamer who's sitting across from me with an absolutely sour and bitchy look on his face. He's ready to burst, full of vitriol. So, hey Marcus, what's up?
Oh, go suck a carrot.
No thanks.
Yeah, all right. So, hello, listeners. It is I, the Grump. Got a Jackie Thompson update. Oh, Jackie boy, the feds, they're calling. It seems that on June the 16th, our favourite whack job got a visit from 2 federal marshals because he had sent a letter to a federal judge saying that he has less rights than Guantanamo Bay prisoners. He then went on to say that, and I quote, "I guess my mistake was not killing 3,000 people." Wow.
I've made that mistake.
I'm in awe of this guy. He is totally off his rocker, and I think, you know, we should put a new phrase into the lexicon now, and it's going Jack Thompson. Not going postal, not going nuts, not going loopy. You're going Jack Thompson. But yeah, I just
Rolls
love
off
this
the
guy.
tongue.
Yeah, I love this guy. He gives me so much fodder. I can come on. This is the 3rd week running now. I've managed to, you know, talk about him, and I'm looking forward that, you know, that in another 2 weeks when I come back, he'll say something stupid again. Anyway, so yes, Jack Thompson, still a dick, everybody. Fantastic. So what do I want to talk about this week? I hear you ask.
What would you like to talk about this week, Grumpy?
Thank you. Actually,
we go to the zoo?
I've actually had a couple of good weeks with regards to games that have come out. I mean, there's been some good stuff coming out, so I'm not necessarily pissed. But the current trend in gaming now is, remakes. And, we've seen Alone in the Dark coming back for its umpteenth incarnation. Mega Man, Bionic Commando is another one that's getting, dragged out of the archives. So, it got me to thinking, what sort of games that I played, 10, 15 years ago when you guys were in elementary school that I actually want to see again. And, I have a list. Let me start off with, one of the all-time classic series that has been butchered to crap, in my opinion, and that's Rainbow Six and Rogue Spear, the original PC versions.
I'm having a flashback to an earlier episode of
Well,
Grumpy
no,
McGrump.
I just like to see them come out on the consoles. The Rogue Spear and Rainbow Six, simply because the missions were so good and so varied. Rogue Spear in particular was my favorite of the franchise, and I think with a new engine, new graphics. I mean, let's face it, Ubisoft own the content, so why don't they port them up to the 360, the PS3, and give us a new PC version with a kick-ass engine? I think it would sell really well. We know the market is there for Rainbow Six, and it would be, perhaps a new market as well with regards to the addition of the heavily tactical side. So I'm not rehashing that show from a couple of weeks ago. I'd just like to see, be able to play those games, because I can't play them on Vista right now.
As long as you can see your gun.
As long as you can see your gun. You know
Now
what?
with gun.
Now with gun. Hell, they should even let you see your feet. They have the technology to do that, Next game, Populous. This is a really old one. I think this is.
I played some Populous
I'm a
back
big
in the
fan
day.
of Populous. Actually, I think there was a Japanese DS remake a little later. They put different deities
EA's
in there.
making
It looked
it.
a little weird, but
But
Could be
again,
cool.
Populous
Yeah.
would be a great game to
But-
come back on the PC or the 360. I mean, if they can bring Command and Conquer.
Out of curiosity, what was that game you played, Daniel? The Doshin.
Oh, Doshin the Giant?
Isn't that kind of Populous-like? Lots of raising land and lowering land.
Yeah, it's got some of those elements. It was practically developed by like one guy at Nintendo. So it was not a graphical powerhouse, but it came out for the 64 disk drive, and then later on they ported it up to the GameCube.
It was pretty fun, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to play God, so that would be another great game that you could see with a kick-ass engine on all formats. I mean, actually, could you imagine playing that on the Wii? Using the nunchucks to raise and lower
I would
the
like
land.
to see more kind of isometric RTS. I know you're not the biggest Pikmin fan in the world, but I think Pikmin with the Wii would actually be a pretty interesting interface.
You are a Pikmin fan, and I respect your opinion.
Oh my god.
All right, next game, Shadowrun. Now, I'm not talking about the Shadowrun from last year, which was an abomination of the franchise. I'm actually talking about the Super NES and Genesis versions.
Which
Oh,
one,
yeah.
which one did you like better?
The
'Cause
Super
they're both
NES
good.
versions.
They're both good, though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I actually borrowed that from my editor when I was working in a newspaper. She had it. It was
I
really
loved
good.
the Super NES version. It was very faithful to the RPG, the pen and paper one, and very faithful to the books. And there's like 20 or 30 Shadowrun books out there. And I think, that is, a game that we should have had last year. And instead of, some sort of weird Counter-Strikey type
Arena
ripoff.
Combat, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, you put combat in, but you have, you have an RPG element. You have, let's face it, Shadowrun's potentially could be one of the best MMOs out there for, on consoles. It could be on the 360. It could be on the PC. Microsoft, have the rights to the franchise. So, it would be a great subscription base because you've got so many cities in there that you could bring online as additional servers and expand. So anyway, I want to see a really good Shadowrun with a solid story. And then the last game, the ultimate game. This is the one game that I am begging for, but I know it will never see the light of day because
Start
EA
your
own the
petition.
rights. Dungeon Keeper. I want my Dungeon Keeper. I still have the original discs from Dungeon Keeper 1, Dungeon Keeper the Deeper Dungeons, and Dungeon Keeper 2, and I can't play them on my friggin' Vista laptop. It's really annoying.
Have you tried DOSBox?
I haven't, so you'll have to show me.
It's pretty easy to use and legal and everything.
All right, well, you have to show me that. But I would like to see Dungeon Keeper brought up to the scope you could unveil if you want with Dungeon Keeper on a kick-ass engine on on a PC nowadays, or again on the consoles. And there's a certain perverse joy to be had from dropping a bunch of level 10 hounds and mistresses and trolls and everything on top of a bunch of level 2 heroes. I
Yeah.
loved killing those bastards. So anyway, that's my one wish for Christmas, if you will. Dear Santa, give me Dungeon Keeper 3, because Dungeon Keeper 3 was trailered at the end of Dungeon Keeper 2. and then obviously Peter Molyneux went one way with
Yeah.
and then Bullfrog and EA went the other way. So EA, please give
Well,
the license
start your
to somebody.
petition, get your legion of fan to
My Legion of fans. Hey, I'll have you know,
to-
I'm up to
to
almost
help.
50 friends now on Game Trailers.
go for
And
those triple digits, man.
I know more people can have it. By the way.
And speaking of your fans, everyone, the Grumpy theme song contest thing is still going on. You can send your submissions to invisiblewalls@gametrailers.com. And here's a little sample of. Actually, I should probably just put this in post, but we can all take a listen.
Grumpy, McGrump.
That's me. That's me. If you're f***ing lucky, you sexy.
I like how you sound like Barney. on the Flintstones.
But that was good. That was a good one. I mean, it had a little bit too much Shane Slater feel for me because at the end of the day, he's not grumpy. He's more moody.
But keep them coming.
Keep them coming is good. And yeah, as usual, check out my profile page on Game Trailers, where I've actually started putting up blogs now.
Ooh, we'll flash that URL right now.
I know, whatever the URL is, grumpy_McGrump or whatever. But yes.
Marcus, Grumpy, pleasure as always. Thank you for joining us in our tiny little room.
My pleasure.
And see you again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Okay, this is when we do On the Hook. We have a special rapid fire edition where we'll try to fire as rapidly as possible. Patrick Morales has hit both fierce attack buttons and swapped out with Brooks Huber.
Nice. That's what was going on. I didn't know he's like, tag, you're it.
Yep, you're officially in. So let's answer some questions. We have some questions to answer. So let's start with Morph Baller.
All right, Morph Baller asks, what's the story behind these photo shoots, and where do I get the soundtrack? And then obviously I think they're referring to Metal Gear Solid 4.
And I think you can offer him a pro tip.
Yes, we'll give you a pro tip. You should probably know about this. During the B&B battles, once they're in their unmasked form, basically just run away from them for about 4 minutes. Just don't get hit, whatever. And then you're going to be warped away to that white room that you saw. And as long as you have the camera, you'll be able to do a photo shoot with them. They'll strike different poses for you.
And the iPod thing too, right?
Yes. There is one song on the iPod. I don't remember the exact name. It's actually one with the Japanese title. If you play that song during the photo shoot, they will actually do a dance for you. As for where do you get the soundtrack, well, if you're one of the lucky few to pre-order and get the collector's edition, it came with the soundtrack. Otherwise,
Try the internet.
Yeah. There's a whole world out
be
there to Google.
resourceful.
So, Brooks, you got one for us?
Yes, Slothcloth. What a great name. Do you think that one day rated M games will vanish due to new technologies such as the Wii that bring gaming to new heights?
What does this mean?
It's great.
He hasn't heard of
absolutely
Mad
not.
World, apparently.
Oh, Mad World, that's going to be good. I guess he might be talking about, Manhunt 2 and the Wii controls where, you were strangling somebody. They thought that was a little extreme. But I don't think rated M games are ever going to disappear. They're going to be with us forever. And in fact,
I don't think you can reverse the decline of humanity. We're going straight to the bottom.
we
so.
love violence.
I
There's
have
a question from Anonymous.
Yeah, I don't actually want to credit this person.
Who is this mystery person?
But this didn't actually come to Invisible Walls. It came to the help desk, and they forwarded it on to me, and it was, do we think Square will skip Final Fantasy 13 because 13 is an unlucky number? I don't know, guys.
I think they're rebranding it either Final Fantasy M, Final Fantasy Mezzanine.
I heard it's
Final
going to be
Fantasy
called
12B.
XIII, so I think we can skirt that. But if hotels can skip the 13th floor, that's got to be pretty pricey.
The
so,
M floor. Or maybe Final Fantasy pool floor.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anonymous, I don't think you have to worry. I think you'll get your Final Fantasies eventually. Maybe this decade.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing that we have is a heartfelt postcard from Shane,
That is awesome.
who is in Italy.
Can I read it?
You can read it.
Hey, IW. Italy is awesome. Miss you guys. Shane.
Now with 100% more volcanoes.
Yeah, we got a volcano with some, I think it may be Old Smoky covered with cheese. We've got some pizza over here.
I like the fingers making
It's
a
a
connection.
gondola.
at the top
I'm pretty
right.
sure that's the Sistine Chapel with,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
David
That
touching the
yeah.
hands of God. Or maybe he saw E.T. in Italy. I mean, that's what I do on my honeymoon. And I think that sums up Invisible Walls for the week.
Yep, that's about it. I guess we could go ahead and say goodbye, although it's very hard to do.
It's very hard to say goodbye.
It is. But
But I'll say it.
see you next time. If you want to harass us, Brian can tell you exactly what to type.
As always, you can email us at invisiblewalls@gametrailers.com or leave comments and like on the not so oftenly updated Invisible Walls game page at invisiblewalls.gametrailers.com. And it was a pleasure as always. We look forward to seeing you guys again.